Hello and welcome to Inside the USFL, a podcast giving you an inside look at a startup professional football league from someone on the inside. That's right, I'm Zach Brunner, but I am joined by Birmingham Stallions center Jordan McCray. How's it going, man? How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. Happy to be on the show and just talk a little bit of football and give everyone a little bit of an insight of what's going to be going on in the daily.
I think this is going to be truly a unique perspective. We've seen some other like NBA and even some NFL shows now where current players are starting a podcast, taking you through what a day-to-day of a season's going to look at. But this is something completely unique. This is something no one has done. And you were truly one of what I think, maybe there's a couple people with your experiences, but we talk about all these new professional football leagues popping up the past few years. And you have not only been at the center of it, like you've been performing. Give him a follow on Twitter at JMCC63, but going down your Twitter bio is just a resume that speaks for itself. 2018 first team All Arena, 2019 highest graded lineman in the AAF with the Orlando Apollos. That's per Pro Football Focus. 2020 first team All XFL per Pro Football Focus with the Vipers, I believe, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then last season, just first team All IFL as well. So you keep obviously just dominating these leagues. And now it's like, okay, now here's the next one, the new USFL. And you are tasked with doing the exact same thing. Why should we expect anything different, right? Like, are you ready to go? Are you excited for this? What's your mindset going into the USFL?
No, ready to go. Super excited, and mindset is just, my career is everywhere I've been in my career has always been more fun when you win. So to bring a winning culture to the Birmingham Stallions and win a USFL championship there, but also individually be the best player I can be. And that's one of the best in this league. And with playing in all these leagues, my goal has been to get to the NFL and make it on a 53-man roster. So using this league and the great talent that's already here, performing well against this talent and catapulting myself to that stage. So that's really my outlook on every season I play.
You've also, at least talking about the teams that we just talked about, and in college, you played at UCF. You've won basically everywhere you've gone, too. Yeah. And we could talk about how strong offensive line play leads to success on the field, success in the record book. But you're a winning culture. You have won everywhere. And I would assume Birmingham Stallions is just the next task. This is the next goal. Do you think, looking at the roster that you guys have just drafted just a couple weeks ago, are you excited? Do you think we can start off on the right track with this team as well?
I do think so. I have some great coaches in Birmingham, some great players as well, as you've seen through the draft, and already been talking with a lot of the linemen, getting that chemistry going. Just it starts up front. I think we're going to have a great offensive line, great coaches, great talent around. So I think we should be very successful.
Have you played with any of the O-linemen before?
So we just had the supplemental draft, and Marquez Tucker was a rookie free agent when I was in training camp with the Chicago Bears. So we kept contact even after that. So very good player, young player. So excited to play with him as well. But everybody else, no, I have not played with yet.
So obviously offensive line, so much is communication and chemistry. How do you go about building that right away then? If these are all just brand new, fresh faces, not just on the old line, but everybody. So how do you quickly get off on the right foot there?
I think really just natural conversation. Like a lot of the connection can be built with things not football wise. So I reached out to all the linemen, just introducing myself, letting them know that this is a good line of communication for us to have. Any questions, since I am going to be a little bit more experienced with new startup leagues, that they can reach out to me, and just being a guy that they can trust off rip. And that's football will come naturally after that. So I think just establishing that line of communication now is a good stepping stone.
For sure. This is obviously I'm going to compare you to Tom Brady, so buckle up for that. But I mean, we talk about why Tom Brady's such a good leader. That's kind of the shit he does too. He went
Yeah.
to Tampa, and it was totally just off the field stuff, like let me know what I can do for you, and just
Mhm.
making everybody from 1 to 52 feel welcome, from
Exactly.
everything like that. So I think that is actually massive, and maybe that does play in part to why you keep having success in all of these new leagues too.
Definitely. Definitely.
So you talked about coach. You have Skipholtz as
Mhm.
the head coach. Obviously, he's the son of legendary Lou Holtz.
Mhm.
He was a coach for South Florida for a while. I think that was after you were at UCF, though, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so have you had any interaction with him before this or cross paths at all?
No, not before this, but as soon as he drafted, he called, said he was excited to coach me. I was excited to be there. Seemed like a great guy in that short conversation, so I'm just ready to get to work, to be honest. But no, before this, I haven't had any connection with them.
Okay, so yeah, the draft process, obviously, I mean, this was completely unique, and the way that did the
Mhm.
draft was unique too, just going player or position based by rounds and stuff. What was that process like? Was it truly you found out when the tweet went out, or was it you had some idea beforehand about
So,
everything going on?
so beforehand, I had about 4 coaches reach out to me, and would turn out to be somewhat of like an interview. What I was doing, was I in shape? Um, where I was at, like locationally. So um, I had an idea of who was interested in me. But the funny thing is, Birmingham was not one of the teams that called me
Okay.
beforehand. So when the draft for the centers came up, I had an idea of where I was going to go, and was surprised to see that it was Birmingham. So and then he called me right after. Was actually a coach I had formerly played with, is the head offensive line coach, Coach Heimbach,
Okay.
and he texted me, and I probably texted him like 3 or 4 months ago, and I was like, "Hey, what's Jaime texting me for?" And it said, "Birmingham Stallions, baby," and I was like, "Dang!" And he called me, let me know, so I was excited to be with somebody I was familiar with, and yeah, so I had a little bit of an insight of where I might go, but ended up going to somewhere I was wanted, so that's really the first step. So I was happy about that.
They didn't need to call you to ask you about if you're in shape. They knew what
Yeah.
to expect. They knew what was coming.
Hmm.
I think, I mean, just for people listening to this who aren't introduced to me at all, I think the last time we talked on the mic was 2018.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, reading off all that 2018, that means you're just done with the indoor stuff. We were talking about how the next opportunity is about to come, and
Hmm.
it was AAF, XFL, another indoor league. You were talking about always in shape, always ready to go, and clearly you were.
Yeah.
So it seems like this is just another step. This is another thing that's about to come, and another league you are about to take over, which is exciting,
Yeah.
obviously. Um, so 8 teams in the USFL. You are Birmingham Stallions. All the teams actually play in Birmingham, which is
Hmm.
unique. So when does that all start? You're not in Birmingham right now, right?
No, I'm not. I'm in Florida right now, but
Okay.
we report the first day for report is March 22nd. So next week,
Okay.
Tuesday, and and then we're gonna get started. A lot of onboarding stuff, and then they'll let us know when we start practicing and all that as well.
Okay. And you guys first game April 16th
Hmm.
against the New Jersey Generals. So that's cool. And it's interesting that everyone's there. Do you know what like living arrangements are and all that stuff yet? Like how are they
Yeah.
housing all these people?
So I'm assuming that it's a huge hotel, but the Sheraton in downtown Birmingham is where all the guys are going to be at for training camp, and I believe the entire season. And they're giving us the option if you want to live somewhere else, and they're going to help accommodate it any way that they can. So, but
That's cool.
I think most of it's going to be downtown Birmingham.
Okay, that's cool. Is that similar or the same as these other leagues that you've been a part of in terms of XFL and AAF at least?
Um, yeah, well, at least for training camp for sure, because then the AAF, we were all 8. I'm not sure how many teams. I think it was 8 teams. Were in San Antonio. We weren't in the same hotel, but we were all in San Antonio. And then for the XFL, we were all
Own
in
stadiums, right?
Houston
Yeah.
for training camp. So that is similar.
Okay. Do you think
And we
that
all
did? Yeah, go.
and in both leagues, we had preseason games, and all the preseason games were at one place. So in San Antonio, and then in Houston, we played at the Cougar Stadium.
Sure. And then, yeah, then those split up into their own home cities, though,
Yeah, then they
right?
went to their own markets after training camp. Yep.
Right. Okay. Do you think, because from talking to some other people that were in those leagues and stuff like that too, it seems like there was a sense of camaraderie. Maybe that's just them and not everybody. But do you think having the training camps as a league all in the same place, all together, in this case, all in the same hotel, essentially everyone's staying, do you think
Mhm.
that does build that sense of community within the league? Like, hey, we're all just trying to get back to the NFL right now, or first
Yeah,
time, or
no,
whatever.
I felt that as well. Like even in the AAF and the XFL, even though we were in different hotels, we had a lot of meetings or like league meetings together. So, and football is a very small world. So,
Yeah.
guys, you get 250 professional athletes. A lot of guys played in the NFL, were on different teams together and stuff like that. So, just everybody wants to see everybody doing well, especially in the beginning stages of it, like training camp. So it did form a little bit better of a camaraderie and connection by having it in the same area.
And I know you can only speak for yourself in this, but
Mhm.
I'm just assuming is pretty much the common goal amongst all the players like, hey, let's put on a show, let's get back to the NFL. Is that basically what the
Yeah,
consensus
yeah,
is?
that is, and a lot of guys um, want to get back to playing in the NFL, or if they haven't gotten there yet, want to put on good film and put on a good show so they can get back to that. But then there's a select few that are happy with where they're at in their career and just love the game and want to have another avenue to make some decent money and play the game that they love that they've been playing since they were kids. So it's a common. I'll probably say more so trying to get back to that level, but mostly everybody's there just to put on a good show for whatever reason that might be.
Are you in the camp that you want to get back though?
Oh, of course, yeah, of
Okay,
course,
good.
yeah.
Okay. And I think, I mean, the other leagues were good. I think XFL was definitely further along in terms of development than the AAF.
Yeah.
This one, there's already connections of success stories from the old USFL to the NFL. We got a
Mhm.
lot of NFL coaches and experience in this one. So, I mean, it truly feels like a natural fit to make this some sort of a developmental league eventually for the NFL,
Yeah,
if you want to call it that or whatever you want to call it. But it feels like there's going to be a lot of eyes. Obviously, uh, the media deals for this are massive. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
they're, yeah, there's going to be eyes on this league. So I think everyone has a big shot. And even just the other ones. I mean, Taylor Heineke was
He played
AAF
for the
or
Battlehawks.
Battle. Right.
He was I'm pretty sure he wasn't even the starter there. He was the
No.
backup. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the
But they,
backup.
and then you got PJ Walker in the XFL who was lighting it up and now is in Carolina.
Dearness Johnson with you guys running back, and he just went off for
Dearness
Cleveland
was
this year.
a beast. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Dearness was a beast. Yeah. Garrett Gilbert still in there. Started a couple of games for the Cowboys. It's a lot of success stories. You just got to look at it. Got another guy on our team, Keith Reeser, got a Super Bowl ring. Went
Right.
to the Chiefs right after. So it's a lot of guys that can play that just need another opportunity to show it, and that's what the USFL is going to do.
I mean, as every year goes on, the youth football programs obviously it gets developed. Everyone's getting bigger. Everyone's getting more talented. At this point now, there is such a surplus of talent. So
Hmm.
I think the old narrative of is there enough talent to support another football league than the NFL? I think that's bullshit at this point.
Yeah,
Like there's so much talent, and especially if it's not taking place at the same time as the NFL.
right.
As long as you're not on an NFL roster, you can be here, I think. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think I think this is going to be good. You look at the quarterback names, you see, I think that was the big difference between AAF and XFL quarterback play, and that made everything watchable. I think USFL definitely has that,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm excited because I think this is actually going to be successful and really good, really big.
Yeah, no, I think so too. A lot of time developing it, a lot of great minds behind it. So, and the talent is going to speak for itself. So, it has all the recipes for success.
Last thing we
Mhm.
will go out on here, and something we have to touch on, not that we have answers for it, but
Yeah.
obviously there is that USFL lawsuit, the old USFL. I'm not sure if it's actually in play yet, but some sort of suing the new USFL, going off their
Mhm.
name, going off their past success, using that success for this. Um, in terms of you, though, as a player, have you heard anything in terms of that lawsuit disrupting training camp, disrupting games, disrupting the schedule at all?
No, we really haven't. To truth be told, I really don't know what's going on with that. We've been getting emails and calls like everything's going to be running smoothly, about start dates and all that as well. Already had like a couple mandatory Zoom with all the players, just onboarding as well. So we really haven't heard anything about that. I don't think there's going to be any problem. So
We need to finish the damn season. I'm sick of you being on the
yeah,
best team. And it's like,
yeah.
the Orlando Apollos are technically AAF champions. Like, who gives a
Yeah,
shit?
but I would love to have a ring and a championship trophy to go along with it. Like last year in the IFL was my first time getting a professional ring,
Oh,
and I would
really?
like to end my career with as many as I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. This was the first episode of Inside the USFL on the Believe Network. There's going to be a lot more, and we truly want to give you an inside look at this new league. So let us know if you're on YouTube. Let us know in the comments any questions you have for Jordan. If you are on Twitter at Inside USFL, tweet us questions about USFL, about AAF, XFL, Indoor League, Arena League, any of it. We are here to be resources, to answer questions, and to show you a different side of football that you are not necessarily seeing on TV. But Jordan, I think this was good. Thank you for
Yeah,
joining me for this and for this entire season.
of course, man. Appreciate you having me on. Looking forward to it.
Yep. See everybody later.
All right, have a good one, man.